I hope you've been happy, healthy, and safe. We are going to jump right in. We're going to do a you versus them reading. We will pick the current challenge affecting you both. Then on the first side, I usually represent or present that as you. And then the second pile is usually them. But take it how it resonates for your specific situation. If the second pile that I'm talking about sounds like you, then the second pile is for you. So just take it how it jives. Okay, so please, Spirit, what is the current situation right now affecting these two parties? Ooh. Oh my, well that is just too many. We will not take those. Because I don't know what's going on, but I can't. Unless your life is really, really dramatic, I can't see that many things affecting your life. But maybe. Okay. So we have connecting you both. Okay, so the situation is, I feel on one, it's being too frivolous with the Four of Earth. So it could be one side of you or both sides of you is in this energy of trying to control money, things like that. Also good business decisions, it says here, and giving to the less fortunate. I feel like with this card, it feels like somebody is giving and somebody is not. You're giving to someone who feels like, or you feel like, or they feel like deserves whatever this is. So it could be, this could be a third party situation. So you could be in a relationship with somebody who was divorced and they're still giving money to the past partner, and you think this is bad because you want the money for you, or you just don't think it's a good decision. You feel they should be more cautious with their money. Okay, that is what is affecting you at this time. Okay. Okay, so for you, okay, so you are sitting in your high priestess energy. You are trying to listen to your intuition, have patience, consider what it is. You're trying to decide what it is you want in this relationship, okay? And just what you want in general, right? On their side, they have the Seven of Earth. It came in the reverse. So I feel like on their side, there's a temporary pause in action. It feels like they're just kind of floating there, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. are just in a space of pause. I feel like they're just pausing, and yeah. Okay, let's get more on that. Let's get more on that, on what they're. It feels like in this picture, this tree gives me a vibe. It kind of looks like there's a face on the tree. And it kind of gives me the vibe that this tree is like trying to gather up all of the things it can to, I want to say, ward off the monsters. Like, this tree looks like a monster to me, if you can see that, and there's like a little princess or whatever there, right? And the tree has all these little, I don't know, balls of something, right? Like, it almost looks like. And so it feels like they have to make a decision about something to do with warding off these monsters. Okay, it's kind of what I am picking up from this. Very strange, but yeah, that's what. And it feels like yeah, it feels like three energies here. Like the example I gave you, it's what it feels like. It feels like there's three people. There's maybe a divorced person, and somebody wants all the money, and they look angry. They look greedy. Like, if you can, they look unimpressed, right? And they're holding all the coins, and they're just like I want that sort of thing. And it's like you're over here just kind of doing your thing, and they're over there fighting off this monster. Okay, let's get more. Yeah, there's no balance in this situation. There needs to be balance and moderation. Um, Cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing, it says. So there needs to be new beginnings in structures and in your finances and things like that. Like with the Four of Earth, it's structure in finances basically is how that card reads. And then this is like making a decision over your material, right? So it's, and this one coming out in reverse means, there is no balance. There needs to be new beginnings when it comes to this. Okay, your side of it. You have on your side of it, the Two of Air. And then this says being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there is no problem. So it feels a little bit like you're at a stalemate. You're trying to listen to your intuition about this situation. But here's what I'm picking up. Okay, this is not your, like, you have no say in whatever this is. It's not you're the stalemate in this. And you're all up in your head because this other person is unwilling to make a decision about it, because it almost feels like this is a romantic connection. Okay, and it feels like there's money involved. Okay, money's on the table. Whether this be another relationship that's taking the money, or a business that's lacking, that isn't there, whatever, or giving to a third party, be it an ex or whatever the case, children, whatever the case may be. Okay, the situation that I'm getting is that they're trying, but there is no balance, there is no right. Like, it feels like on their side of it, there's no give and take. It's just take, and give, until they have nothing and the other party has everything. Okay, and you see this as an outside party, and you want to put your 2 cents in, and you're all up in your head about it. But what Spirit is saying is, it's not your battle to fight. It has nothing to do with you at all. So you're not helping the situation. You're not helping create balance that this other person actually needs. Okay? So I'm not sure who needs to hear that, but that's kind of what's going on. Okay? Yeah, so on their side, they have a complex decision. They have a complex decision, right, to make. And they're just kind of going with the flow. There's a need to maybe research, histories, or more about whatever this is. And I'm feeling kind of like maybe, it's like they might be trying to tell you one thing, but you're trying to follow your intuition. Like, let's say if this is a new relationship and they've gotten a divorce, and maybe they pay child support and blah blah blah, and maybe they worked and then didn't work, and then worked and then didn't work, but your folk, and they're like, I have no money because my ex is always stealing it. But your intuition is telling you, yeah, but you work and then you don't work, and then you work and then you don't work, and things aren't adding up for you. Okay? Spirit is saying there's an element of you needing to research as to why this is actually happening. Is what they're telling you actually the case, or is it something else? Is there something more going on? Like, I'm hearing, I'm almost picking up a situation where, like, maybe they tell you, yeah, we'll go out this weekend and we'll do this and blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, oh, cool. And then they back out because they're like, oh, I gotta work. But then you find out they're not actually working. So they blew you off. But why did they blow you off? What are they doing when they blew you off? Okay? So that's kind of, and then there's the element of you being focused and concerned about them giving too much to this other situation, whether it be a person, a business, whatever. Spirit is just reminding you that you need to follow your wisdom, your intuition. Okay. What else? Thought vibrations came in the reverse. So I'll talk a little bit about thought vibration. So what you send out is what kind of manifests in reality. So if you're saying, okay, for example, if you're saying this person isn't working, they can't get a job, there's something wrong with that, I'm just giving this as an example, yada yada yada, you're spreading all this negative gossip and all these false perceptions that you have onto the situation, you're actually creating a barrier or a block for this person because your thoughts are actually creating it. Do you understand what I'm... So Spirit is saying that you need to communicate your thoughts. You need to switch your thoughts in order to switch the thoughts of the people that are around you. So if you think this guy or this girl is like up to no good with their ex or whatever the situation is, and they're not working, or they are working but they're giving their money to their ex and not to you, or whatever the case is, okay? Like, there's just something weird here, okay? With your perception, with your attachment to this other person, because like, and I think that's what it is. It's like you're attaching yourself to this other person. It's not your journey. It's not, those aren't your decisions. That's not your business. It's not your concern. It's the other person's concern. Do you know what I mean? So by you giving so much thought and energy to this, you're actually creating a block for this person. Okay? You're actually creating whatever it is you think is happening, you're actually creating it. Just by your thoughts and focusing on them and not yourself. Right? Like if you're focused on them cheating or doing whatever they're doing or whatever they're doing, you're creating that. Okay? Confusion. You have to move past the confusion, okay? You have to just be clear. Like this might be a situation that you need to Like if it's taking up, like they're telling you, feeding you all this stuff, and you're like, this doesn't add up, what they're telling me, and you're focusing on that, and it's causing not only more and more disruption in their thought processes, but it's causing more and more thought confusion in your thought processes, so that you can't move forward with what it is you need to move forward with either. And it's creating more choices than there needs to be. So then what it's doing is making it hard for anybody to make a choice. Instead, everybody's making no choice. It's just creating this cycle. Okay? And spirit, how do they move past this? How do they move past this? Let's use this deck. What do they need to do to move past this? I feel like this is on both sides. I feel like you get concerned about what they're doing. They're concerned about what you're doing. And then there's this third party who kind of, I feel like they want all the money or whatever. They just want to live. And they're unimpressed by this, whatever this is, whatever the two of you got going on. They're kind of unimpressed by it, because they're like, I just want to live, is kind of the vibe I get from this as well, right? Like, it feels almost like the third party, even though they're impacting whatever this is, it feels like they're outside of it. They're not putting all their attention on it, but they are getting pissed off, because they're like, fuck, like, it's almost like you're creating more, I want to say, drama and imbalance in the situation. And this other person is kind of just, they're minding their business, trying to feed their kid. If this is next with kids, they might just be trying to feed and provide for their children. And then you're in here yipping and yapping, telling the other person, well, no, this isn't right, blah, blah, blah. I'm following my intuition, yada, yada, yada. And it's just creating so much confusion and drama in this situation. And there's an element here. This feels like a very codependent, toxic, like you feed off each other, you feed off each other's drama, you feed off each other's negativity, and even, yeah, it feels like sometimes the other person like lifts you up, and they're like, whatever, and then you do that for them, but at the same time, there's always a negative undertone. Okay, so I'm not sure what this is exactly. It doesn't feel good. And whatever you're doing between the two of you, it's creating barriers and blocks for the third person. Okay, so your advice here is engage in higher reason. Yes. In this situation, you have to not feed off what they say, and they can't feed off what you say. You both have to go just inward and worry about your own shit. Okay? You need, with reason, you need to, like, why is this important to you? Like, yeah, right? And you also need to address your addiction. Okay, so I feel like your addiction, now you could have substance abuse addictions and things like that. I'm not here to judge. Um, Whatever the, or they could, or something. But somebody in this situation, or maybe sex or something like that, right? But there's an addiction that's, and I almost feel like the addiction here is toxicity, that feeding off each other's drama. I feel, and that codependency on each other, I feel like that is the addiction. And Spirit saying you need to release whatever that is. You need to address it. You need to, yeah, recognize it, address it. Yeah, like, your business is not their business. Their business is not your business. And both of your business is not this third party's business. And vice versa. Okay, so whatever you guys got going on, you definitely need to stop whatever you guys got going on. Okay? I don't know what you got going on, but you gotta stop. Gotta stop. Do all things in moderation, yeah. So, you know, again, address the addiction. So if there is an addiction, maybe the addiction is with the third party, or maybe that's what they're telling you, and maybe it's not true. You definitely have the seek wisdom and do research and find out what's really going on. There's something. It just doesn't. It doesn't add up. Something doesn't add up here. Okay. And I think too, with you guys feeding off each other, it's almost like you're avoiding the addiction, you're avoiding and you're creating this excessive worry, this excessive drama, just everything in excess. Your energy just feels all over the place. Yeah, and you're both your sides, you should not be worrying about this third person or any other third person. Their lives, they're on a different journey, they're on a different timeline as you. Their lives are their lives, your lives are your lives. You focus on you, they focus on them. That's it. Right? Um that's kind of where you're at here. Okay, this is an interesting one. Let's get what you guys need to surrender. And then we'll get where if you guys take the advice and you chill out and just focus on yourselves instead of everybody else, where will this situation go? And there's another element here too. And I mean, you all have free will, you all have decisions, but it's almost like you almost have to go your separate ways, because honestly this situation doesn't feel good. Surrender your ego. You got surrender your ego, which does not surprise me. Cultivate gratitude and be of service to others, okay? And then again, giving to the less fortunate. Be of service to others. It feels like you're greedy. It feels like you don't want to give. It feels like, yeah. Come from the heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. So again, like, yeah. You need to take a chill pill. Okay. I feel like this energy, I don't like it. I stay away from drama. I'm like, I just block. Block. I don't want your drama. See you later. And that's not the best trait, but when it comes to toxic people, I mean, sometimes you have to separate yourself from them, because if you've ever noticed, if you've been in a group setting and maybe you're not the type to complain or comment or anything on people, but then somebody starts kind of engaging in that, and gossiping and whatever, and you just kind of want to be part of the crowd, but then after you feel like, I don't know, you feel icky and just like, why did I say that? Why did I do that? It's okay to cut those people or block those people or stay away from those people. You're allowed to do that, to protect your own energy, to protect your own mind, because that's the thing about negativity. It's like a little virus, like a virus on a computer. It just gets in and it just slowly gets into each file, and it just like corrupts the file slowly over time. And the more you hang out with people that are toxic or, in everybody else's business but not really focusing on their own business, the more that happens, the more toxic you become, and the less and less you can focus on your positivity and things like that. And until you take your power back to move away from these individuals, you're just going to continue the cycle of that cycle, right? Like, you're just gonna keep going around and around. You're not gonna break free from it, and you're gonna get more and more depressed. Like, you're gonna lower your vibration more and more and more. With the addictions too, maybe maybe that's what you guys have in common, But again, addictions are like if it's substance abuse and things like that. The more you hang around that, the more you're in that environment, the lower and lower and lower you go. Okay? So to separate yourself, sometimes you need to separate yourself, isolate yourself, avoid those people, and just get right out of it, to get away from that drama, to get away from those situations. You need to isolate yourself so that you can have your peace and happiness, because if you know you're not that type of person that gets involved in all that, and then you find yourself being involved in those situations, that's honestly, that's your clue. Like, that's your clue. You need to chill. Follow your intuition on how these situations make you feel as well. If they're making you feel sick, tired, drained, unhappy, then that too is an indicator, right? So it's things you need to look at to move on in a positive way. Okay.